Hey there, tech fans. Rick here with a quick unboxing and overview of the new Anker Power Extend 12 strip. Now, Anker is a company that's been designing consumer electronics for a very long time, and if you do a quick search on the web, you're going to find they're one of the top companies for manufacturing things like chargers and cables and portable battery banks. And the reason they're so popular with consumers is that the engineering teams at Anker really think about what a consumer wants, and they design a lot of advanced features and functionality into their products that you won't find in a lot of competing products. And I've owned a ton of their gear. I've got a lot of their chargers and their cables. I've got a few of their power banks, and I find them to be top quality products. So when I heard they were releasing a power strip, I had to bring one in and test it out just to see if that same engineering had been added to the power strip, and I'm here to tell you that it has. And it may seem simple because a lot of people buy power strips every week, and you're probably thinking, how sophisticated could this be? How much of a difference is there between power strips? I'm here to tell you, the engineers at Anker have found ways to make this power strip better than the average power strip. And I buy a lot of extension cords and power strips because I'm into technology. I'm plugging a ton of stuff in all the time. So I've tested this over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to give you my opinions on what separates this from the other ones on the market. But before I get into all that, I wanted to do a quick unboxing just to show you everything that comes with the kit when you first buy it. So when you pop open the box, you're going to find the 12 power strip, and I'll show you a closer look at that in a second. You're also going to find an instruction manual that gives you all the specifications of how much current it can handle, what kind of surge protection's built in, and some safety information about how to use it. Another thing they include, which I think is really brave, is this happy and not happy card. And inside there, if you're happy and you open it up, a lot of good information on how to get a hold of them if you have questions. But then if you open up the not happy side, which is kind of brave, they actually put information in there about how you can call them and complain about what you don't like about the product. So most companies don't put a lot of information in their packages to let you get a hold of them because they don't want to hear from you. These guys are really caring about your liking the product once it arrives, and if there's something wrong that they have to change, they're going to listen to you and change it in the next version. So I think that's really brave. All right, next what I'm going to do is take a closer look at the unit and actually explain really what makes it so special compared to other models, because there's a couple of things on here that you'll want to know about. And even if you don't purchase this one, it's important to understand what differences there are between power strips so you know what you can use to compare one against another going forward. And then I'll come back and give you some of my experience at the end around using this particular power strip, because I liked it so much I actually bought 2 more of them. So stay tuned and we'll take a closer look next. The product measures about 11.5 inches long by just about 4.5 inches wide and almost an inch thick. And it's a pretty substantial unit. It's got a bit of weight to it. So when you put it down on the floor, it's going to stay where you put it, and I like that. It's also really nice and wide, which means all the outlets are going to be facing up, making it very easy for you to plug things into it. They've added a couple of rubber feet on either side on the bottom. So if you put it down on the smooth surface, these are going to keep it where you put it. They're also going to protect it from scratching that surface. You'll also find a couple of keyhole mounts right here that you can use with small screws, either on a wall or a desk, to put it in a more permanent place. Now, as far as the outlets go, this is the first thing you want to compare when you're looking at power strips. The number of outlets is important. Most power strips come with 4 or 5 outlets, maybe 6 if you're lucky, and they're typically in this sort of linear fashion right here, which is normally okay. The Anker products got these 6 in the center and 3 on either side, so a total of 12 outlets, which is really a huge number of outlets, and means you can use one product, plug it into the wall, and have all the outlets you're going to need. But the other key thing is they could have very easily put 2 of these strips together side by side, but that's not really functional when you think about it, because most cords today, if you're using a standard cord, work okay with that sort of linear lineup. But the challenge is, if you're using some of the newer power supplies, they typically have a transformer in the end of them like this guy, and you've got an offset. So when you plug it in, you've got all this extra space that it takes up, and if they're thick, you plug it in here, you're going to block those 2 outlets. So the fact that they set these at an angle to those center ones means I can plug that in there and not have to worry about bending the cord at a weird angle, not blocking any other outlets. So 12 outlets that I can use all 12 is important, because if you buy one that's got 6 outlets and can only use 3 of them, you're kind of wasting a lot of space. Also, if you've got a bigger appliance that's got a transformer on it like this that offsets to the bottom, if you plug that into a standard power strip, I'm using this outlet, but I'm blocking this one, and quite frankly, that cord is going to be bent so tight against the case to get that next one in use that that fatigue is going to damage this power supply over time. So the fact that I can plug these in with an offset to that direction and these in here means I'm going to be able to use all these outlets. So that's really important. Some of the other physical things you want to think about, the cord is important as well that you plug into the wall. Now the length of the cord, a lot of them are extremely short. They're maybe a foot or 18 inches or 3 feet. That's pretty close to the wall. This product comes in 3 different cord lengths. This is the 8-footer. I believe there's a 6-footer and either a 10 or a 12-footer. So you get to choose how long a cord you need. I like the 8-footer because it gives me enough cord to get it far enough away from the wall outlet that I can use it almost anywhere I need to. The quality of the cord is also important. This is an extremely heavy-duty cord, and it's a circular cord. A lot of the flat cords will kink on themselves. They'll roll up. They're very difficult to put away. This is going to last you a long time. It's not going to get cut or chafed over time. They've got a molded plug on the end of it with a ground connection right here. Any outlet you buy, strip outlet, make sure you've got a ground connection. Don't break that off. Make sure you plug it in where all 3 of these are live, because that ground connection ensures any backfeed from the electronics is going to go right to ground. It's not going to cause issues with anything else plugged into the unit. All right, so the technical specifications, the thing you want to compare between these outlet strips is how much current the product can support. Now, a standard wall outlet in most homes is 15 amps of current. This will support a full 15 amps of current across all these outlets, which means I can plug this into a wall outlet and be able to use all of these and draw 15 amps of current through it. A lot of the smaller ones are maybe 5 amps, maybe 10 amps if you're lucky, and that means you've got to plug in multiple strips to be able to use all the current that's available to that outlet. So 15 amps is great. There's 2 protections built into this. They have surge protection built in, which is going to protect your really expensive electronics from any transient surges that come down the line. And they've actually got 2 surge protectors built into it. So they've divided the outlets into 2 different surge circuits, and it'll protect you against a 4,000 joule surge, which is really important. Now, if you're looking at other power strips, they may not even tell you what kind of protection they provide, or if they do, it might be 1,000 joules. And that's super important because the higher the number, the better the protection. And you're probably plugging a lot of very expensive electronics into this, whether it be a widescreen TV or a TiVo device, or maybe you're charging your phone off of it. So having that surge protection is super important. This product, again, 4,000 joules, and it's got dual circuits built into it. It also has a ground fault detector. So it's got ground protection built in because, as I'd mentioned, this is grounded, your house is grounded, and if the ground fails for whatever reason, that means the electronics can float above ground, and you can have all kinds of issues with the power supplies not working correctly. So these 3 indicators right here let you know the surge protection's working and the ground protection's built into it. We have a nice circuit breaker right here, so if you exceed the circuit or have a short circuit, heaven forbid the electronics go bad, it's going to blow the circuit breaker and let you know that you've got to check something out. Something connected here has got issues. So overall, I think they've done a phenomenal job with the design of this, and I just love it.